African countries have a voracious appetite to adopt nuclear energy, with a third of almost 30 countries globally currently considering nuclear power coming from the continent. Kenya is advancing its quest to have nuclear added to its energy mix, with the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency steadfastly building the critical bridges required to make the country move towards achieving that objective. Alex Mwangi reports on the salient developments in that space, picked up from the African Nuclear Business Platform, which took place last month and was hosted by the Nuclear Power Energy Agency.
Kenya, Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, Niger, Nigeria and Sudan are the African countries that are seeking to join South Africa in having nuclear as part of their energy mix.
And therefore, at one time, when we will have exploited all the geothermal, which obviously has got some limits, we will require to use another base source of energy. And our choice of that base will have to be clean energy, and that will be nuclear.
The path towards having nuclear as a source of energy is long and arduous, but is known to have long-lasting benefits if well adhered to.
There are phases, as I said earlier, 3 phases that needs to be followed with several. We have 19 actually infrastructural issues, what we call soft issues and hard issues, in terms of hard issues such as siting, and soft issues, legal, regulatory infrastructure. It's a long-term commitment. Yeah. You are talking of a 100-year commitment, and that takes at least 15 years to construct, and be able to commission a nuclear plant.
If a country can plan, build, and operate a nuclear research reactor, and can plan, build, and operate nuclear power plants, then there's nothing else they can't do.
It's a political will. If we'll have action-oriented program. Action-oriented program will change the nation.
Kenya is seeking to learn lessons from South Africa, which has gained some experience from having a nuclear power plant.
We operate 1,800 megawatt, 20 of nuclear power plant. We've got 20 megawatt of research reactor. Today, we've got close to 5,000 direct jobs.
Members of the public remain largely in the dark on the progress of the country towards becoming a nuclear-powered entity. Said to be a cheaper alternative of power, nuclear energy is, however, complex to set up and requires constant monitoring and approvals from the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA.
And the nuclear energy provides about 10% of the world electricity from about 450 power reactors that we have. And the nuclear energy is also the world's second largest source of low carbon power, of about 29% of the total in 2017.
We are talking of a plant here that runs for 18 months and then goes for a fueling cycle of maybe a month or so, and then runs for another 18 months. This is the kind of reliability that we are talking about.
Public acceptance is crucial for the success of nuclear power generation in any given country.
I think for Kenya also is to say, how do we package this message so that an ordinary Kenyan can understand that nuclear is beyond power production. It is contributing to the level of education. You need highly skilled engineers, technicians, and so forth.
In March 2011, an earthquake off the coast of Japan caused a 15-meter tsunami which disabled the power supply and cooling of the Fukushima Daiichi reactors.
On the contrary, there's an increase in the construction of the nuclear power plant after the Fukushima Daiichi accident.
31 countries generate electricity using nuclear energy. If all goes according to plan, Kenya's first reactor should be commissioned by 2027. In the meantime, there is need to deepen the foundations of nuclear as an alternative and cleaner source of energy among the population.
We need to start introducing nuclear from as soon as lower primary schools, so that by the time they go to tertiary, they already understand. Because a lot of times, people only know in nuclear once they get employment and so forth.
Currently, a bill to provide the regulatory environment necessary to build and operate a nuclear reactor is awaiting a third reading in the National Assembly.
We should be able to pass these laws in the next few weeks
And then that we can clearly, after that, we can clearly say that we are in phase 2 of the milestone approach.
In seeking to have nuclear as part of its energy mix, Kenya has opted to go down the brave path. The long-term nature of investments in nuclear energy, however, mean that it will take years to determine whether that decision was cost-effective, even as the country turns towards greener methods of energy production. Alex Mwangi, NTV.